mic in 2024.
Very good evening to all our viewers, and welcome to today's edition of the Evening Review. My name is Tewen Jabala, your host, and tonight we are welcoming back to the show Vipuakuje Muharukua. He is a member of parliament representing the Popular Democratic Movement, the opposition, the official opposition party in the country. Welcome, sir, to the show. Thank you for making time.
Good evening, Toiwo. Good evening to all Namibians.
Wonderful.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So I mean, Parliament opened this week, and one of the first things, one of the major developments there is you being replaced as PDM's chief whip in the National Assembly. If you can walk us into what transpired there.
Look, firstly, I don't know why you term it as a major thing or a big development, as you earlier said.
Yeah.
I deem it to be a non-issue.
Okay.
I mean, I came to Parliament in 2015, and from 2015 right up to 2020, I was a deputy whip to Honorable Jennifer van den Heever, the full 5-year term. And as from 2020, I ascended to the position of a whip of the opposition. And as we retained the position of official opposition, of course, it was supposed to be a 3-year term. I only led it for 5 years, for 3 years. And as we returned, as you term it, I'm not a whip anymore. It's really nothing. I mean, it's for me, it's very trivial. I have expressed profound gratitude to my members that I've served for 3. In fact, I should say 10 years. I should say 8 years, because I've led the caucus with Honorable van den Heever and with Honorable Dienda, who was then my deputy, for a good 8 years. And I believe during these 8 years and during the time that I was whip specifically, I think I've presided over the caucus in a manner that commanded respect, not only from the public, but also from other members of Parliament. We have managed to do a number of things as a collective, as MPs, in the interest of Namibians. It is so that Honorable Dienda is now the new whip, and as far as I'm concerned, I wish her well, I wish the caucus well, and life will continue.
Yeah.
It's really, for me, it's a non-issue.
It's a non-issue.
It only becomes an issue if I or any other leader dwells on it and perhaps makes comments that induces comments from other leaders.
Yeah.
And I suppose comments in some instances that are not truthful.
Yeah.
But even in that instance, putting some certain things out there, coming from, say, for instance, I as a leader would be putting dirty linen out there.
Yeah.
And I as a leader should guard the good repute of course, the institution,
Yeah.
which is PDM, and I don't think I will dwell on that issue at all. To me, it's a non-issue. It's a non-issue.
Yeah.
And I think I have, even in Parliament yesterday, congratulated Honorable Dienda,
Yeah.
for her job, and simply that was to allay any doubt on anyone's part,
Yeah.
that there was anything other than good wishes from my side for her to continue. I really wish her well. I will support her.
Yeah.
When she was my deputy, I treated her with respect. I never did anything without her knowing what I'm doing. And in many instances, I would be in the background, even amongst their own caucus. When we have to communicate, I would say, please communicate this to the members. That's just the sort of person that I am. I was a good deputy to Honorable van den Heever. And so when I respected her as my deputy, why would I not respect her today when she's my boss? Because effectively that's who she is and what she is.
Yeah.
The PDM will continue doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you don't want to dwell on that subject,
and I won't.
Honorable, but
Yes.
I have a question or two more.
Yes.
And that is really that, so are you saying your term had come to an end, or this change of guard happened sort of mid-term while you still had time to continue as chief whip? What brought about the change of guard in terms of the processes that need to
Okay,
take place?
the question of as to what brought about the change of guard, I can't answer. The other question, as I said, I will not dwell on.
It's very funny that you said you cannot answer that, because, I mean...
Let me tell you this.
Yes, yeah.
I told you I was a deputy whip.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I was a deputy whip from 2015
to 2020, essentially.
2020.
Yes.
That was a 5-year term.
Uninterrupted.
Yes, uninterrupted, no elections, nothing.
Yes.
When, you know, the PDM had a change of MPs.
Yes.
And without fear of contradiction, I can state and categorically state that I went to the president of the institution, and I did say that, look, I feel that we now have new members. That was long before now, long before this new session has started. I said, I feel that these new members, because they were not part of caucus when we started, we should give him a chance to choose a new whip.
Yeah.
He categorically said, no, that's not going to happen. Of course, at the time. And of course, that is now not the case. But it's not something that I want to dwell on. If really you are pressing and you're asking me the question, had the term ended? No, it had not. I would be lying if I said it did. But am I upset that it hadn't? No, I'm not. Am I relieved that it has? It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, you know, you can get to focus on other things.
Yeah. No, I'm asking these questions because it's not just for the content of this show. It's really for the rank and file of PDM also to know, because we were all caught by surprise that we just see breaking news.
Yes.
Vipuakuje is no longer the chief whip of the party.
Yes.
But the timing of this whole thing also has brought into sharper question a lot of things. One of them to say that, for example, that there was a recent election of the Ovaherero Paramount Chief Ino Shimbingwe, and you had rallied behind Honorable Mike Avekotora. Instead of your party leader, Makhendra Binani, was also in that race. You did not support him in that case. And people started connecting the dots to say, maybe this is a payback for choosing to abandon his captain in his time of need. Okay.
I don't know whether I'm the right person to answer that. I think you are certainly asking the wrong person. But maybe the question you are asking is really, where did you rally behind Mike Kavekotora?
Yes.
And yes, maybe it is prudent that one gets a chance in this instance to answer that question. But before I go there, this platform is not a PDM platform.
Yes.
It's a national platform. The questions relating to the whippery and all that, within, of course, the PDM platforms, I am in a position and I'm willing to say more. The reason why I'm just not saying here, it's because it's a national platform, and it is my duty somehow also to say, but not to say. But be that as it may, let's come back to the Ovaherero chieftaincy. One, I profoundly and unapologetically believe in the Ovaherero paramountcy. I believe in the Ovaherero paramountcy in its original configurations as it was in the late 1800s. Because it was, the Hereros had come to that decision to confront a specific challenge that faced the Ovahereros at that point in time. We are now in a different, of course, world, a different setting, a different country. But still, there are challenges. There are challenges that face Namibian people as a whole. that should be solved by the state. But there are challenges that the Herero nation exclusively and perhaps sometimes in tandem with other nations face, that needs the voice of the Herero to speak and help government or advise government in terms of what to do to advance the interest of the Ova Herero. What are those challenges? Education. The Ova Herero nation was probably, before independence and soon thereafter, one of the most educated communities and nation in this country. The Ova Hereros are known to be ardent farmers, good farmers, and so forth. However, there's a challenge in terms of access to markets, in terms of value addition, in terms of all these things. Of course, there's an obvious challenge of the negotiations between Germany and Namibia, whether you say Namibia the state or whether you say Namibia as a whole nation, or whether you talk about Namibia, the Ova Herero nation alone. That's not up for discussion now. But that's a very pressing issue amongst the Ova Herero community. Now, if you look at the credentials of the man that I have said, I think he would be a good paramount. He's an educated man, a Muherero man. I have not known Mike from Parliament. Mike is a relative of mine. He's effectively my uncle. But it is not the reason why I said, I think the Hereros should take this man, or this specific group of Hereros should take this man. The reason why I said that is because I have followed his life from a very young age. He is probably amongst the best, well self-managed Hereros that we have. Why would I, as a person, not have the ability to express that? If you go to his personal space, say for instance, I'm not going to put out his property out in the public, because he's a person in his own. He has his own right to do that. But you go to his personal space, how he manages his affairs, you will be impressed. As an economist, his acumen, it is, in my considered view, above board. And in my considered view, every person of firm and sound, who is firm and sound of mind, would not question anyone's decision to say, for a traditional position, this person would suit. Then there is another problem that faces the Ova Herero. It is the fact that, while I said I believe in paramountcy, we are divided. It's a fact. We are divided, that other nations within the Namibian nation state are actually, I should say, goading the Ova Herero for all this fragmentation. We need, as a nation, or a community, if you will, because sometimes we misunderstand the word nation. I don't want to be misunderstood as reducing Namibia to only one tribe, but that's a conversation for another day. But as a community, we need, in all honesty, a conversation about what it is that we are doing to our future generations. I'm married to a non-Herero person. My child, who is 7 years old, knows that she's a Herero mix to something else. That's identity. And it is important to preserve identity. Today, paramountcy as it were, was an identity of the Ova Hereros. Today we don't have it. We have individual chiefs. And I'll tell you why, how we have arrived at that, or my theory, or my belief at how we have arrived at that.
Briefly, before you're going to break, yes.
Politics is the major culprit of that. When you had the original Chiefs Council, after of course, the genocide, and when the second chief, the young people educated separated from that Chiefs Council. 1987, we have another break amongst ourselves. politics, politics, politics. It is about time.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go for a break. And then I can continue.
Yeah. No, thank you. Hold that thought for me,
Munene,
and then we come back after a break.
Sport Wrap is a daily show focusing on all sport news and current affairs. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact sportwrap@synergy.com.ma.
We continue our conversation with Vipuakuje Muharukua on the evening review. Now, Chief, I know that again you are a man of many thoughts, but and you want to elevate this conversation to a different level, and that is fine.
But that's where we should go.
No, give me one more chance to ask you this. So do you then think that because you have articulated your reasons for backing Mike Avekotora, which now listening to you is more clearer than it ever was, why you chose that path. But do you think that that might have compromised your position in the party, that you might have ruffled some feathers with that choice that you made?
Look, before I answer that, before we went on a break, I was saying,
yes,
it is about time that the Overherero community start to have the conversation as to how we return and find our feet.
Yes.
In the Herero we say, Okiaruka Kororowa.
Yeah.
We find our foundation and build ourselves from now on that foundation. Send our kids to school. How we associate with other communities within the country.
Yeah.
Now the question that you asked, I don't see how that can ever be true.
Yeah.
Or how any person really of sound mind and ordinary firmness can attribute the good characters of one person, being Mike, to mean the opposite of anyone else.
Yeah.
If, for instance, we say Toivo Njebela does a good job at holding government to account and is a good opposition, just those words, come on. It cannot mean that I, as an MP, is a bad MP.
Yeah.
That person who says that is talking good about Toivo Njebela.
Yeah.
It's not talking bad about anyone else. So that in its own, I think that maturity in its own should be had, should be attained within the political circles. That it is okay. It is okay for Muharukua to be an MP with capacity. It is okay for Ina Hengari. It is okay for who's the Deputy Minister of Information? Emma Theopheles.
Yes.
Even when Emma Theopheles is in a different political space or party than myself, it is okay for someone else to say that Emma Theopheles is, say for instance, a good minister. It doesn't say anything contrary towards the Prime Minister or towards her principal minister and so forth.
Yeah.
I think that essentially is maturity. And what I was going to, and perhaps to complete that train of thought, is that the president of the PDM himself, I saw something very good that he commented. And he said the following on a group. Someone sent it to me actually, that you can actually be a very good politician and a bad chief, or a very good chief and a very bad politician.
Yeah.
So saying that Toivo's shoes look nice. Toivo, one, is not an antonym for Vipua or any other person. Toivo is just Toivo. And two, if I say something good about your shoes, doesn't say my shoes or anyone else's shoes are ugly. or yours is better than anyone else's. It is talking simply about you.
Yeah.
And so I think it must be understood in that context. And therefore, I actually don't see how that features or compromises ourselves in any
PDM
form or
politics.
way. It might be. I mean, political detractors and, of course, adversaries. And these are political positions.
Yeah.
And positions come, of course, with perks.
Yeah.
And with perks comes comes detracting.
Yes.
And also comes decampaigning.
Yes.
So I suppose in ordinary politics someone can use it in that way.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm coming from a professional field where people are actually quite firm and quite focused. So if politicians see it that way, then what can you do?
Yeah. The other question then is because if you are a chief whip, there are certain powers that come with that. You dictate a lot of even the narrative, the party's narrative in parliament. You can call to order some of your party members whenever they are going rogue and whatnot. That power has been lost now, and it's lost ahead of a very important process within PDM, which is a Congress. And there's been a lot of reports that Vipuakuje is also eyeing the presidential position in the party, and that there are factions that are supporting. In fact, you command a lot of respect and support in PDM.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yes. So it is as if you are castrated in time, well in time of that process.
Well,
that let's disempower this man.
What a word to use.
Yes, sorry for my choice of word. but that is how I say it. Yeah.
I don't know why you feel that way. Look, where I sit in parliament, whether I sit behind the speaker, whether I sit behind the prime minister on the Swabo benches, whether I sit even in the gallery of parliament, I, as a person, my impact is from my character, is from how I carry myself, not a position that comes with me. Similarly, I believe within the political space, within the PDM, it is not any position, whether it is presidency as you are putting it, whether it is whippery as you are putting it, can influence my stature at all. And I tell you why I say that. There are two things in my life, and I give credit to my father for it, that I cherish very much in terms of reputation. It is, one, if I engage you as a person, I would want to be as truthful as possible, as genuine as possible. I believe these things earns you respect, uplifts your stature, even if you are not a considerably sizable person, whatever the case may be. Perhaps that's why you are saying what you are saying, because you would know that when Muharukua is angry, he really means to be angry. Yeah. When he's laughing, he means to laugh. There's absolutely no politics behind my smile, behind what I do. You know, what is funny about politicians is you go and help someone who is in need, but you go with a camera. I suppose it's the politics of today. Yeah. Government, people from government, whose duty it is to deliver, to help people who are suffering from drought, must be trailed, followed by cameras to be seen to do. Look, that's not what I espouse to be honest. Yeah. And if that does not earn me political credit, so be it. Yeah. I mean, that's just who I am.
Yeah, wonderful. And when you say that, the country is crying for that kind of leadership. The PDM is crying for that kind of leadership. How
do you know that?
Because
sorry, I have to ask. Let me ask you that question. When you say the country, as a journalist, I suppose I would not dispute, because that's what I want for the country. But when you say PDM and you are not a member of PDM, I would ask you to justify. Be careful. I'll be the one to start interviewing you.
Because we observe, it is exactly what we do in this space of journalism. We observe, we analyze. PDM is yearning, there's a segment of the party, not the entire PDM. Again, I said there are two schools of thought within PDM. There are those who think that the incoming president is the right man to carry the party forward.
Okay.
But there is a strong group that also thinks that it's time now for Muharukua. It's time, as a matter of fact, some even go as far as saying there's a power struggle between over Herero and over Himba community within PDM. And the Himbas are firmly behind you. What are your ambitions ahead of Congress?
Look, Njibela, I must say this, and perhaps let me make it categorically clear to the Namibian people.
Yeah.
I have been a very, very focused person in my life. I've not become a responsible person simply by being in parliament. When I was 18 years old, when other young people started, enjoying life, my peers and so forth, that's when I bought my first cattle.
Yeah.
That's when I started my farming. I was 18 years old. So I'm a very, very focused person.
Yes.
So I will never, ever do something because someone else says. Never.
Yeah.
I will always analyze. That's one. Two, I told you I'm not married to a person who is Herero.
Yes.
That says to you that I'm a nationalist.
Mm.
And this is categorically clear. I would never accept a position based on tribalism.
Yeah.
Never.
Regional power of balances?
Even that. You see, when you take a decision as important as assuming a political office like I have,
yeah.
when you take a decision to lead people, as I do, and as the current official leader of official opposition is leading, there are so many considerations that should go in there.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not going to sit here with the Namibian people and say that there's no people that says that to me, within and perhaps also outside PDM. But that's not going to dictate what I do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately also what I'm never going to give you as the media is that sensational
headline.
Sensational headline that says Muharukua in the morning the Namibian Sun says Muharukua confirms he's contesting in 2024. Important things that needs to be considered whenever. Whether we choose to allow the leader who is there to continue, whether we choose to change it, whatever. Yeah. I, as a person, would have to consider, fine, I want this. Yeah. To what end? What do you want to do with it? Do I want to achieve something with it myself, or do I want to achieve something with it for the community? Yeah. Two.
We've run out of time.
Yes. Those people, importantly, those people that are saying to you, run. Yeah. Do they want you, or do they simply not want the other person? These are all considerations.
Absolutely.
Yes, because you can't just do things foolhardy. I'm focused, and as a person, I will consider many things. And I can tell you, at this point in time, I'm not contesting.
All right. Thank you, Jill. This is an exclusive now. You heard it first on the evening review. Mr. Muharukua is not standing as matter stand. But, politicians, we'll see what they tell you one thing now and later they say something else. But we will hold him to his word. Thank you for watching, and thank you for coming in, Chief. I appreciate your time.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, wonderful.